First, let's check in with our media partners from the Voice of OC for an update on what's happening this week in Orange County government and politics.
Here to talk about issues in the news right now, we welcome the editor-in-chief for Voice of OC, Norberto Santana. Hi, Norberto.
Norberto, last month you unveiled a troubling report detailing questionable dealings by Santa Ana Mayor Miguel Pulido. Now, this month, more corruption charges are being leveled against the city council. What is going on?
A former investor in an apartment development known as the Met at South Coast claims there's corruption within Santa Ana City Hall. And during a council meeting earlier this month, publicly submitted a bundle of records that he says prove it. Now, among other things, Barry Levine, on behalf of a New York-based investor, is alleging that Vineyards Development Corporation, developer of the complex, wrote a $10,000 check to a now defunct Hollywood nightclub called Geisha House that was spent on a party for Santa Ana Councilwoman Michele Martinez. Now, once partners in the Met, Barry Levine and Ryan Oglenik of Vineyards Development Corporation are now locked in a bitter court dispute involving investments in the project. Now, if Levine's accusations are true or proven true, Martinez could be in violation of state law governing gifts received by public officials. Now, indeed, a Voice of OC check of Martinez's campaign finance records show that she did receive 3 contributions totaling $10,500 from Geisha House-related entities on April 10th of last year, just one day after the date of the $10,000 check to the nightclub. Now, a week after receiving contributions from those entities, Dolce Group Concepts LLC, Dolce Group DC LLC, and Geisha House LLC, which records show are affiliated with Lonnie Moore and Mike Moline, the owners of Geisha House, Martinez voted April 16th to approve Oglenik's apartment complex in South Santa Ana. Now, Martinez also voted in favor of the project on March 19, 2012. And she cast 2 separate votes in favor of another Oglenik housing project at the last 2 council meetings. Now, Martinez has vehemently denied doing anything improper, and from the dais at the last council meeting, threatened to sue Levine for slander.
In April 2012, Mr. Oglenik gave Councilmember Martinez an unreported $10,000 gift certificate paid for by the applicant. Mr. Oglenik then doubled his largesse, providing another $10,000 to Councilmember Martinez's Political Action Committee. Needless to say, Councilmember Martinez is now a vehement supporter of the applicant. This project is rife with problems. It does not meet city or CEQA standards, and unreported contributions abound. Yet the project has been allowed to go on. Such as the power of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Just wrap up. If you have more comment, just
such as the power
of
hundreds of thousands of dollars of political contributions.
You need to kill the mic. Thank you.
Mr. Levine, my attorney will be contacting you because what you're doing is slander. I do not control a PAC, and nor was $10,000 ever given to me. And so my attorney will be contacting you because what you're doing, sir, is wrong and it's slander.
Martinez is calling on the FBI to come into Santa Ana and look into City Hall, which has long been under a cloud of corruption allegations. Meanwhile, this week, Santa Ana City Attorney Sonia Carvalho confirmed that she's investigating a questionable property swap involving Mayor Miguel Pulido, reported by Voice of OC, and will likely report back to the City Council at its next regular meeting in 2 weeks. Last month, we published an expose showing that in 2010, the president of Napa Orange County Auto Parts sold a Westminster home to the Pulido family for $230,000 less than fair market value. Then in 2012, the mayor sold the home at a $197,000 profit.
All right, Norberto, this week the long-awaited trial began of 2 Fullerton police officers accused of murder for their role in the beating death of a mentally ill homeless man, Kelly Thomas. What came out of the trial this week?
While opening arguments usually dominate the headlines as a trial gets underway, this week District Attorney Tony Rakakis got a different kind of media attention by taking on the media itself. Now, Rakakis' press operation reportedly went after the raw news video feed of court deliberations. When the Radio and Television News Association of Southern California objected, arguing that it was like asking reporters for their raw notes, and added that defense attorneys wouldn't have access to the feed, Rakakis' office reportedly complained. Now, Susan Schroeder, chief of staff for Rakakis, said there was an earlier court ruling that the DA's office is part of the pool with rights to access to the videos. But Rick Terrell, Executive Director of the Radio and Television News Association of Southern California, said there's nothing in California court rules that says the news media must give its raw material to anyone other than another news organization. Now, Judge William Froberg, whose wife ironically works for Rackauckus as a prosecutor, reportedly reacted by saying that if the DA's office was denied access to the pool feeds, then all video and audio equipment had to leave. Now, Terrell, who was the pool coordinator and has been the News Association Executive Director for 10 years, said no other district attorney in the Los Angeles region has ever tried to gain access to pool feeds. Now, we'll keep you updated on how this turns out.
Okay, Norberto, after much debate, it looks like Irvine's Great Park will finally move forward. For many, like developer Emil Haddad, the park will get nearly $200 million worth of needed amenities. For others, like former mayors Larry Agron and Beth Crom, the park concept is being overly commercialized. Your reporters were at the Irvine Council all night to bring us a scoop. Tell us more.
Irvine Council members have indeed approved a deal for a home developer to build more than half of the Orange County Great Park in exchange for the right to build thousands of additional homes around it. Now, last month's council vote, which came around 2 o'clock in the morning, broke down along partisan lines, with Republican council members Jeffrey Lalloway, Christina Shea, and Mayor Stephen Choi voting for the deal, while Democrats Larry Agron and Beth Crom voted against it. Now, under the plan, private developer 5 Point Communities would pay and build 688 acres of the park at an estimated value of $172 million. Now, about $40 million of that amount would be paid through a special property tax known as Mello-Roos on the homeowners in the area. Now, the construction would, among other features, include a massive sports park, an 18-hole golf course, a wildlife corridor, and a canyon, though not the much more expansive canyon envisioned in the original master plan. Now, in exchange, the city will allow 5 Point to build an extra 4,600 homes on land that's now zoned as commercial and industrial, taking the total to approximately about 9,500. Now, those extra houses are expected to give a big boost to 5 Point's profits. But with nearly $200 million in city funds for the park mostly drained, without much but fancy plans to show for it, this would likely forge a path towards getting more than half of the park built within the next few years. Now, that could mean youth would have much earlier access to its projected 17 soccer fields and 25 tennis courts, amongst many other amenities. Now, many argue that 5 Point's proposal doesn't match the quality and the scale of the park's original master plan. One major point of contention was the replacement of the impressive man-made canyon with the 188-acre golf course, an amenity that some criticize as appealing to very few residents.
All right, very good. Thank you, Norberto. For more on these stories and other political news throughout Orange County, go to voiceofoc.org.